All right, before we get into the last episode on our 4BT build, I wanted to mention our International Quarantine Car Show real quick. We've had over 400 submissions so far, and we've been able to raise over $2,000 for Doctors Without Borders with our merch sales. I do want to encourage you guys to check out the website daily. Make sure that all of your pictures uploaded properly, that your video links are working properly. And if you need to edit your post, you can do that for another week and a half. At that point, we're gonna close it. We're gonna have the public judge all their favorites, and then the top 25 of those will go off to the respective YouTube judges that are judging that specific category. The winner, it'll be chosen in a few weeks, will get a $1,000 gift card towards Summit. So if you expect to win or wanna win, take some time and make some nice pictures. You've got 2 weeks, you got lots of time, and actually show us everything about your build. If you're entering like the bracketry build, Bad Obsession Motorsports is about making custom pieces and doing a phenomenal job with it. Show us that you did that. Or I've got a Robin with a diesel in it, and we need to see it, not just a picture and a heading on it. So take the time. Thank you very much, guys, for submitting. Keep it going, share it, because it's a fun little thing that we can do while we're all stuck inside and doing it for a good cause at the same time. All right, 4BT time, here we go. Okay, back on our 4BT. The crank bearings look perfect. We're not gonna pull the front cover, and we're not gonna pull the rear main because they have about 80,000 kilometers on it, something like that, and it's not leaking, so we're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna do a bearing roll on the mains and on the crank journals, or the rod journals, and then we're going to hone the cylinders with a flex hone, and then we will clean up our pistons, throw some new rings in it, and pop on our brand new remanufactured head. Here we go. So pro tip for pulling dowels out, on our website we sell these adapters. You shove them in to the dowel, and the center of it is a hex, but then it doesn't deform the dowel when you grab it with vice grips. They're easily numbered too. We have them in metric and standard. This would be an 8. They go all the way up to 13. In the 1/4" size, we've got bigger dowels. We also sell a 1/2" set. They're really expensive, but just check our website, and we've got those specialty tools. I think it's DeBoss socket set number 2. Okay, so we want to put a crosshatch in our cylinder. If you can see, it's very smooth here. There's no ring ridge. There's no lip here at all. And you'll find that out really quick when you try to knock your pistons out. If they fall out past this ring, it means that your cylinders are in good shape. We can measure them, but we're not going to do that on this block because we're not going to do anything about that anyway. They're going to put about 10,000 kilometers on in its lifetime, I bet. So this is perfect for what we're doing. We want to scratch off the carbon that sits on top of the rings, and then take our cylinder hone. Now, you guys have seen me use a stone hone like this before, 3-jaw. It has its places, but this is better. When we started the channel, I looked these up. They're like 200 bucks a piece. Now on Amazon, they're down to like 50 bucks, somewhere around there. We'll add the link to that. These will do the job. The problem is they might bounce as you're going if you're not doing it properly. These are a lot safer to go. It won't bounce and leaves a nicer crosshatch. So we'll lube this up. We want to spin a slow RPM, and then go up and down as fast as we possibly can, and that will give us our X. You want X crosshatch. So here we go. See how that cleaned that up very nicely all the way around. That's what you kind of want to see, is that X. So we can go even faster yet. We don't want to take too much off, but that looks really, really good. Very, very nice. Very happy with that. Okay, so we got our pistons kind of cleaned up, just in the Varsol tank. I got to go through the ring ridge one last time with my little dentist pick. Grab the last of it. I can see there's a touch there. You don't have to get too worried about the face of the pistons. They're just going to get carboned up again anyway. You really want to clean these grooves. That's the important part. You can snap a ring in half and use the sharp end to get in there and clean that real good too. Dentist picks work. Just don't scratch the aluminum or do any damage to that. Clean up, there's a few little carbon deposits on the side of the rings. That's fine. We were running a little rich there and we were sticking her through the mud. So we'll get those finalized, but I just wanted to stick them in the Varsol bin. We'll hose them down with brake clean and oil them all up before it goes back in again. But for now, we'll do a bearing roll. We've got a specific video on that as well. It's a good way to do your main bearings without taking the crankshaft out. We'll show you real quick here, but for an in-depth video, check out the link right here. We did that on John Deere while it was still in the tractor. So these pistons were 20 thou over, meaning that this thing's been rebuilt before. And that this thing, that's why those cylinders cleaned up so nice, because they were just bored out. It being a dry sleeve, you cannot replace the sleeves. That was an expensive fix. So this is a good little engine. He's gonna really enjoy this engine. So here we go. So main caps are 44, then 88, then 129. Start in the middle, work your way out. Always good at each stage just to turn it over, make sure that you're not binding anything. At this point, just because you're tightening it more doesn't mean that the rolling resistance should be more. 88, 129. Before we put our pistons in, we want to check our ring end gap, especially because this one is bored 20 thou over, meaning that they took a machine and made this hole 20 thou bigger. Oversized pistons in there, so the rings have to match. So basically you take your piston, put your bottom oil ring on. I shouldn't be doing this with one hand, but take your piston and shove it upside down in the hole. And what that does is square the ring up inside the hole so we get a good reading. Basically, we want 4 thou of end clearance per 1 inch of bore. So since this is 4 inches roughly, we need at least 16 thou of clearance. A 17-inch gauge, got a tiny bit of drag, maybe even a touch more. That's probably about 18, 19 thou. I can't make the ring smaller. So that's perfect. We just don't want the rings to bind against each other when it gets up to operating temperature. Then it's got nowhere to go and we'll scratch your cylinder and we'll make you go to a 30 thou. But we are good to go. We'll throw the rings back on and put all the pistons in. Here we go. All right, we got our piston nice and clean. We got our caps clean. We're gonna clean it some more. A little bit of good old brake clean. Spray that around. Stick it in our vise with a little rag in there. Just snug it. Don't hold it or anything. Don't squeeze it. Don't deform the rod. Just be gentle with it. This is going to be gentle, gentle. Like I tell my girls, gentle, gentle. Stop, gentle. All right, lots of oil, especially in the rings and behind. You guarantee that your rings are nice and clean. We got our gasket kit and bearings from Northtown Machine. If you need any parts, give Scott a call. I'll happily ship you anything. We've got oil ring, first ring, second ring. I start at the bottom, pull out my little oil ring, open that up, stick the gap with the pin at the top. Means no, it doesn't matter where that goes, but I'm just that way. If there's writing on it, writing generally goes up. The oil ring shouldn't matter, but I do it anyway. Good habit to get into. Put that ring in the back. Make sure it's nicely inside. Okay, all the way around. The next ring has top written on it. On this side, there's a little taper right on the top there. The gas is going to come, hit that taper, and force this ring out. So we want to line that up on the opposite side of this one. So I'm going to open that up, stick that in. This is a flat ring, so meaning that it's the same width at the front and the back of the ring. I'm going to spin that so that gap is on the other side of the oil ring. Next ring is a tapered ring. If you can see anyway, it's like a triangle. That's not perfectly square. And this one also has top written on it, so make sure you do that. Open that up, and I put them on this side on your pin. So one is facing this way, one is facing this way. Take your oil. Lots of oil. It's gonna smoke like a train when you first start it. Got our piston ring compressor. Old school, works for me. I'm sure there are better ones out there. And you should definitely buy those, but I'm using this one because it's worked for 20 years. Squeeze that together, tighten it, make sure that your gaps don't rotate, they stay lined up with the pins. Give that a little squeegee. When you see all the oil squeeze up, you know you got it good. We're going to stick this in the vise the other way. Lite spitsig mer brake clean. I'm gonna stick a little bit of oil on the wrist pin and then top up our oil. Grab our bearings with clean hands. I try not to touch the bearing surfaces, and I used to brake clean them off and then clean them before I go in. I find that they are really clean. A little bit of air is fine. These look spotless, so I'm not going to touch them. Put a little bit of assembly lube on them. All right, a little brake clean around. Lots on the crankshaft journal. There you go. Lots. Clean rag. Lube that up. Lots. Don't be shy. Squeeze that in as long as you got the top ring. And then lots on your bearing journal. Arrow pointing forward on the piston. Crankshaft journal all the way at the bottom. Lightly tap. Is from here you can carefully grab the connecting rod and then pull it down until it's on the journal. Make sure that your bearing is in the right spot, and then torque. Put your cap on the right way. And then torque to 25, and then 50, and then 75. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. How can I trust the guy where I just watched him put in piston number 1, and now he's torquing piston number 2? Well, I got a secret to tell you. I forgot to hit record on the camera. I did my whole spiel, talked out loud with no camera going. It was all for nothing. So I'm not as smart as you guys think I am. Anyway, we'll do 50, and then we'll do 75, and then do number 3. In case I messed this recording up. 75, it's actually 74. But who torques a 74? Watch me snap this bolt. She's good. Strong like bull. We got our deck nice and clean and dry. I never use the copper spray on it, especially if we're going to like a stock horsepower. We're going up a little bit, not much. Make sure your dowels are in. If they're mushroomed or out of shape, make sure you put the ugly side down in the block so you don't have any issues putting your head on. Head gasket. Got all the gaskets from Scott as well. That way he's confident in what you sell and you're confident in what you buy. It only goes on one way. Make sure all your holes are lined up. Make sure that the passageway for the oilers for your rockers are in the right way. And we can drop our head on. There she is. Starting to look like an engine again. Sweet. Now the head bolts, there is a way to check them for length if they've been stretched and don't use them again. This one still has the tape on it, the sticker from when it was new. So I'm gonna reuse these. Again, if you're going compounds or something, you might wanna stud it. We're not running, I never ran more than 15, 20 PSI boost on this little girl. The HE351W, was that it? Oh, I forget the name of the turbo now. But it's a nice, quick little spooling turbo. Not great at the top end, but I wanted to grab the next gear. So it's a little bit smaller than stock, but very, very nice fit for a governor spring and a new fuel pin for this. We got a video on how to turn that up, but for now we will clean these bolts, lube them up, torque them down. Here we go. First step, torquing the head, 66 across the board. Do that a couple times, start in the center, work your way out. Same as a 4BT, only you don't have as many bolts. Wow, crazy how much the center ones extra get. Now that we've got 66 across the board, we're gonna tighten these down to 89 foot-pounds, and then we'll add 90 degrees to each one. Now this is the stressful part, 90 degree on each bolt. Why did I point the camera so low? Anyway, 10,000 for intake, 20,000 for exhaust, firing orders 1, 3, 4, 2. We've got videos on setting up valves on a 3, 4, 6, and 8 cylinders. We'll put those links down below in case you're wondering, but we're not gonna beat a dead horse. So, yeah, we will set these valves, check the injectors, splash some paint on it, oil pan. We're almost done, and then we can drop it off at the guy's house to see what it's going into. That is exciting. Here we go. The one real nice thing about the 4BT is that the oil pan is actually reversible. Bolt pattern lines up, so you can have a front sump or a rear sump. You're just depend on your pickup tube. So this would have been a rear sump, but if you're handy and you know somebody with a welder, you can shorten this right up and make it a front sump. Easy for conversions. All the oil pan gaskets are 18 foot-pounds. Start in the center, work your way out, kind of like the cylinder head, and Bob's your uncle. Here we go. All right, the injectors, these nuts get torqued to 44 foot-pounds. Put a little bit of never sees behind the nut to thank the next guy. Don't forget to replace your washer. Unfortunately, I don't have the right tester fitting for these injectors. So it was running properly before we left. I would have liked to test them, but I don't know where my other hoses. What we can do is notice the RPM drop when we crack each individual cylinder, or I might just recommend him to buy all new injectors. They're not that expensive. So I'm gonna throw these in so it's complete and runnable, and then here we go. Okay, the nice thing when you get your head back from Northtown is he also machines the exhaust flanges, so you've got a nice flat surface to put your exhaust manifold on. Keeps your exhaust gaskets from blowing out. The injectors, you can tell the difference between on-road and off-road with the size of the nut on the injector. So it would take an 11/16 wrench on the on-road application. The P-pumps would have the 3/4, and the heads, if you damage a head for some reason, you get the wrong head, your injector lines won't line up. So you'll need the injector line for the CAV pump on one end and then the P pump for the other if you got it backwards, or the other way around. So you can't just swap the injectors either, just to keep that in mind. The big issue is a lot of these tags are missing, so I'm going to do you guys a favor. And the CPL, the number that you need for an on-road, is 0858. And if you're looking for a serial number, it's 277, and then the last numbers wore off. So you can use your imagination for that one. I'm going to spot weld this back on again. Make sure that that's a steel rivet. Then cover it up. We'll hose it down. Cover up the power steering pump, or the Hydro Boost, and then give her a coat of paint. Put the grid heater back on again, and we got a nice little engine. Okay, all washed off. Taped off some of the black stuff. We're gonna paint the valve covers black too, and we're gonna add some horsepower. Remember, horsepower in a can. Squeeze it together, pop it off. Oh, look at that. So nice. Look at that. Oh, it's brand new. Brand flippin' new. Guaranteed to last until the paint falls off. Okay, this intake plate I actually had made. I don't believe that the 4BTs came with a grid heater. In the meantime, a gentleman that goes under the name 4BT4TR on Instagram made me this little intake plate. Nice aluminum, solid, straight, with the Cummins logo on the front. Gave that to me 2 years ago. Unfortunately, I got into a little accident with the Tahoe and didn't get a chance to put it on. But anyway, we'll bolt this on and do the exhaust and the alternator and the fan, and then we're just about there. Here we go. Exhaust manifold only gets torqued to about 32 foot-pounds. I go a touch more just because I like living on the edge and making it a pain for the next guy. All right, I've been driving around with this in the back of the truck here for almost a year, and I couldn't find the owner's place. No, I was supposed to drop this off like a year ago, but we finally got here. It's finally done, and he's not ready for it, so that's great. We're gonna go inside and check out the different platforms that it could go in, but I know he's got a lot on the plate too, so I'm glad he wasn't in a hurry. I'm glad to get it out of the shop. I'm glad to I do want to see this purr alive again, so grabbing the tractor and see where it's going into. Here we go. Good, right back. right, so you guys remember Jason? He was on the channel with the two-stroke Detroit. He's got a whole pile of projects. We'll check out where this is going into, because you're not even set on what it's going into yet.
Don't know yet. It's going in wherever it'll fit.
Right on. What do we got here? We got this one on the channel, actually. This was one of our first videos, way back.
Back when you were a baby.
You still drive it though, right?
Yeah, it's still
fully
good.
functional?
Yep, no issues.
GM engine?
283.
Nice. So you go to the Ford shows and the
Ford
GM
shows and the GM shows.
Nice.
GM powertrain. Once I built this truck 5 years ago, I haven't really changed it at all.
Okay.
Because moved on to the next.
Yep. What's that?
That's 46 GMC.
Okay.
Also with a 283 in it. That's just a 350 turbo, 3-speed.
After seeing the 4BT, you're deciding whether to put it in one of these?
Yeah,
Because it was originally going to go in the Diamond T.
Right here.
This one looks way better than the last time I saw it. It was a rust bucket out back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
So you did all the metal work?
Yep.
Nice.
Cross heights, front clip.
Okay.
I did springs on this because I felt with the diesel and being what it is, 47 Diamond T 201 pickup, very rare. They only made like 7,000 of them over 7 years.
Okay.
That I wouldn't need to do the airbags to get that wow effect. You know what I mean? So I wanted to
Right.
keep it simple.
Yeah.
So I did coilovers.
So you're worried about it, the exhaust sticking out the
Yeah,
side?
it's a narrow front. It's not as narrow as the GMC, but it is narrow.
If you had the turbo right here,
You could do that.
and then the exhaust running down the side, burning your wife's legs, and then right at the bottom, and then a stack out the back, something like that, that'd be pretty
like
sick
that.
too.
Actually, there's more room in this than I thought.
But see, that one's already running and driving and moving. You can hop in that and go. This you still. So if we do all the work to that one, you still have to do a lot of work to this one.
But I wonder if that would be the oldest Cummins. There's got to be guys with 49s with Cummins.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's nothing new.
No, it's nothing new. I don't think so. I think we completely destroy this really nice Diamond T by putting a big ass turbo. And you could just take the shield off and leave it off. Like you could, if you wanted to, you could put it right back on again afterwards.
And
You're really not doing it.
I don't want to get shit from anybody. This will never be a Barrett Jackson $80,000 201 pickup because it's just not that nice.
No.
You know, this is going to be the $30,000 one, which someone butchered.
Yeah. Okay, guys, definitely comment down below as to which one of the three you want to see the 4BT go into. And in the meantime, check out our website as well and upload your builds on there. But thanks for watching, guys. Get out there, get in the garage, get filthy, and build it, drive it.